Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, and welcome back to the Lift with Sheila Robinson-Kiss. Your Auntie Sheila is in the house. It's wonderful to be with all of you. And if you're new, if you end up loving this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I want to welcome you to this community. I had the idea to create this video over the last few weeks. As you know, I'm a therapist, nearly 30 years, and I was talking to one of my clients, and we were on this topic of attachment. So this is what gave me the idea to make a supplement. I have a couple videos on here already about attachment and healthy detachment, but I want to come at it from a little bit of a different angle. So as we're getting into this conversation, she says to me, Sheila, as you're talking about these different attachment styles, I realize that not only do I anxiously attach to relationships, I'm anxiously attached to almost everything, work, places, other people, ideas. And, in that moment, I think it was a little bit of a light bulb moment for both of us. When you think about attachment and how it can literally show up in every area of our lives. You can be attached to a house. You can be deeply attached to ideas, attached inside of a relationship, attached to habits. So if you are a person, and there's so many attachment style tests online, you can just Google attachment style test and you'll find it. If you discover that you are an individual who has been or is anxiously attached, and this really primarily starts in childhood, I want you to pay very special attention to this particular video message, because we talk about attachment, anxious style attachment, but I'm going to place that right next to what it means to put yourself in a situation and a mindset where you can detach in a healthy way. Healthy detachment. I'm here to tell you it is a game changer. I've been going deeper and deeper into healthy detachment as the years have rolled by in my life, because just like my client, looking back at my childhood, I can say that I certainly too dealt with anxious attachment, and I look back, it directly comes from growing up with caregivers who somewhat unpredictable, unavailable from an emotional standpoint. So what are you left to become? I mean, we are all products of our environment, but I can tell you that the reason why I love this work is everyone, everyone, if you choose to, you can transform, you can heal at any time. It's never too early. It is never, ever too late. So, one of the things that I want everyone to think about is this. If you are, whether it's in a relationship, and you're feeling like I'm too into this, I'm too attached, it could be a habit, whatever the case may be, I want you to back up and ask yourself a question. Number one, what am I really attached to? What am I really, really attached to? Because things are not always, they're not always what they seem. When I was talking with my client, she said, Sheila, inside of this moment, I'm just realizing it's never really been about the thing, the relationship or the job. It has always been about a thirst, a hunger for a level of security, for a level of predictability and security. See, that's what I mean when I say things are not always what they seem to be. You kind of, when you're doing this work of life and work on yourself, you kind of have to be a little mental health detective and go underneath the surface, if you will. So when you get to the root of the problem, it checks a lot of boxes, because if you are so, drawn into someone and so attached, or, drawn into a job, I have to have this job, I have to keep this job, and you don't understand the reason why, it's going to lend itself to behavior that's head scratching for you too. But if you realize, what, it's really about the security in the situation that I crave. That's where I'm a little bit shaky. Then you can put your effort and attention. Number one, you can calm down. And number two, you can start to create the environment, making your environment as secure as you possibly can. I mean, let's face it, there are no guarantees in life. There just aren't. And if you think there are, you're kidding yourself. But you can cultivate and nurture an environment that feels secure to you versus looking to someone else or looking to something else as your supply, your quote unquote supply. And from a spiritual perspective, I always say, man is never going to be your source of supply. Some examples on how you can make yourself feel more securely attached. And then I'll get into, healthy detachment. But the first part of that is understanding, how and why you attach to things in this life the way that you do. So some examples of how you can make yourself feel more secure in your environment. You can do that through cultivating healthy habits that are predictable for you. You can't predict anyone else, but you can say, you know what? I'm going to take my walks every day. I'm going to eat well every day. I'm going to do things to nurture my soul and spirit through reading every day or listening to inspirational YouTubes. So in this way, you're constantly feeding yourself. You're satisfying your own craving versus looking to external factors to do that for you and being insecure in the process. So the first thing I want you to take a look at, number one, what am I attaching to and why? Now I'm going to, step over right next to looking at your attachment style, not just with relationships, but life in general. And I want to talk a little bit about healthy detachment. What is it? I mean, just listen to the sound of that again. Healthy detachment. It's just what it sounds like. It's a decision to, what, I'm going to back away from this. No harm, no foul. I'm doing that because I want to walk in peace. And at the end of the day, this is just not something that rises to the occasion where I feel like I need to carry this with me in a stressful way. I started using healthy detachment some time ago, just in very limited, tight spaces of my life. But then over time, it has fanned out, and I can give you some examples of how I've used healthy detachment. And it just people say, "Well, how do you detach?" Realizing number one that you have the option. If you're a person who's been so anxiously attached, that's your style of life, if you will, in managing relationships, your automatic default is, I've got to be worried about this. I've got to carry this. But when you start to build in that automatic awareness, I don't have to carry this. I don't have to worry about you. I don't have to sweat that habit of healthy detachment will rise up within you. So I'll give you an example. Last year, I was a part of this work group. And like, automatically when I sense, it's been this way all my life. If I sense there's tension or, someone's, off with me, it'll kick in and I'll start to worry and kind of ruminate about that. But because that healthy detachment had built up in me, I was able to step back and just ask myself a few key questions. Okay, number one, what's the main goal that you're here? Okay, we have to, finish this work project. I did check in with this person. Hey, is there anything I should know? Are you uncomfortable on any part of the assignment? Okay, they said no. Hey, I gave you an opportunity. The rest of it is your issue. I kind of washed my hands and moved beautifully and joyfully into my healthy detachment. Just as simple as that. And that's the permission structure that you begin to give yourself. I don't have to pick things apart. I don't have to analyze anything. I don't have to lose sleep over anything. Healthy detachment has also helped me in the area of just being more forgiving, more compassionate, more understanding. I mean, we're all going to have upsets. I had an upset recently with a family member, and people will do things sometimes that are hurtful. I mean, we have all gone through that. And I will tell you, before I gave myself permission to just, you know, healthy detachment, that would have been just worry, and stress. And again, I was able to, back up. Hey, you never know. People go through things. I'm not going to spend the next 2, 3, 4 weeks worrying about this. And I didn't. And they called, the phone rang. Hey, how you doing? Everything's fine. It's so the healthy detachment, it can truly help you just save time. It's a much more efficient way to live. And when you think about all the things, all the energy that we have coming at us, what's happening in the world politically, what we're dealing with in our own lives, what's happening in our communities. If you take everything on, if you decide to take everything on, you will literally be a basket case walking around. It's no way to live. So another question I want you always to keep it at the forefront of your mind and asking yourself, is this something that I want to take on? Is this something that I want or need to internalize? I'm telling you, that question, it really stands as it's like it's a gatekeeper, if you will, because it forces your awareness before you start to internalize this stuff and lose sleep and just worry and going back and forth. It does support that elevation. So, a couple quick words about healthy detachment inside of relationships. And I'm looking at healthy detachment from a global perspective. There's a lot of different ways you can look at this. But when you think about the unpredictable nature of this world, one of the things I tell my daughter all the time is, don't ever put your eggs in one basket. And you have to know that regardless of what circumstances may shift or change, people are tricky. I'm telling you that. I mean, if you're listening, you probably know where I'm coming from. You could be feeling, just wonderful and secure and everything's going great. One minute, I've had that happen to me. Like, hey, we're cool. We're great. We're good friends, whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, wait, whoa, what happened here? What happened is we're not psychic. You never know what's going on in someone's head, what's going on in their life circumstances. And it's like, what? They ghosted me, they stopped communicating. It is so important. Healthy detachment will help you do this, to get to the point where if something changes, if someone makes a different decision, you know what? I was enjoying this. I enjoyed it for a time, but evidently it has changed. I realize what I'm saying is easier said than done, but to cultivate the mindset and that kind of spiritual compass as well, where, you know what, for whatever reason, you've made a different decision. One of my favorite scriptures from the Bible, you will know the tree by the fruit it bears. Also, God is not the author God is not the author of confusion. It's how I've trained myself inside of this healthy detachment. You don't need to chase anyone. You don't need to lose days and nights and wonderful moments out of your life. Healthy detachment, when you just start to practice it, it will do that for you. You'll see yourself, you know, you'll be taking your hand off the wheel in a positive way so often. Like, I'm not going to invite this stress into my life. I can detach from that in a healthy way. This happened in the past. I can detach from that in a healthy way. This is something that may or may not happen in the future. I'm detaching from that. As you know, and the anxious mind is anywhere but the here and now. By practicing your healthy detachment, you can allow the past to be in the past, accept the future has not come. I'm doing everything I can to prepare myself in a positive way for what may lay down the road. So, this is just, let me get my water. I'm getting over a little cold here. These are just some things to think about in terms of healthy detachment and looking at your attachment style. I hope it's made a difference for you. I'll be back real soon with some more, tasty food for our brains, for our lives. See you soon. Bye bye.